Okay, here we have a pair of 2002 Chevy Impalas. I believe they both have speedometer problems. So I'm going to talk a little bit about how to take the speedometer out and what it will look like when you're done removing the speedometer. It'll look something like this. Okay, but don't be worried because it's not that difficult to do. I'll take you through step by step. One thing to remember on this Impala is that you have a gear shifter. You have to put the key in, put the gear shifter in the lowest gear, and move the speedometer to its lowest position so you can pull the dashboard out. Now I'll take you over to the Impala 2002 LS, and this is going to be the speedometer that we're going to take out. So we have a little bit of erratic conditions and behavior in the speedometer, and I'm going to show you how to remove it. One of the first things you want to do is rotate the steering wheel in the downward position. This one doesn't have a gear shift on the column, it's a gear shift on the floor, so we don't really have to worry about that too much. So let's get started. Okay, one of the first things you want to do is pull off these panels. They should pull right out. On this side, you want access to that screw right there. Take that screw out. Go around the other side. Pull this panel off here. Should pull right out. And underneath here, take this bottom, they call it an insulator. Take this bottom insulator off. It's on a little bolt on the back there, and take this light bulb out. You'll be able to remove that backward insulator. But under here it's hooked onto a post, so you have to get under there and pry that post out. You just reach under here and pull it out, and now you've got the insulator out from under the dash. Okay, now we've got this screw removed, and removed the same one on the other side. We got a couple of screws right up here in the top of the cowl here, the unscrew. Screw those screws out. Now there's a couple of screws underneath here. This is down by the floor. There's the emergency brake. Screw there, and a screw right here. Take those out. Okay, now that we've got these two screws out, I've pre-released this panel, but this panel pops right out. That's all we need to do, because we need to gain access to this screw. And sometimes there's a screw here that you need to remove. Now that you've removed the lower screws, this, with a little bit of persuasion, should be able to unsnap this right out. Be careful that you don't break anything, but it should unsnap this whole piece. With a little bit of care, it should snap right out. If you have any doubts, you can get a tool like this, try to get back under here and prop it out. Pop it out. Okay, there shouldn't be any more screws from here over. This should all pop out from the top there. As you can see, I've got it pretty well removed, and I'm going to go ahead and wiggle this out of here, and I'll show you what it looks like. Okay, basically all we did was unsnap it. So from here over, there's no screws. I didn't see any screws in there. You got a couple of connectors we need to pull off. This connector here's got a little latch on it. Right there, we just lift that up and should unplug that. And this one here, you might have to pop this little tooth down with the screwdriver and push it, and that'll pop right out. So let's get those out too. Okay, I don't have 3 hands, but we pulled that connector off and this connector off here, and we should be able to finagle this whole assembly right on out of the way. Now we have access to the speedometer, or instrument panel. This is the instrument panel, and there's a screw up here, screw down there, screw up here, one down there. It's only about 4 screws. Keep in mind the connector is up here. So, and it's pretty easy to remove. It's got a little latch on it. You should just be able to push it and wiggle it back and forth and take it right out of there after we get those 4 screws out. Okay, we've taken the 4 screws out. I've tilted the speedometer down and reached my hand down there and pushed the button and wiggled that connector out. And this is your speedometer, comes right on out. Put it down here for repair, and I'll show you how this connector works. This connector is actually quite easy to get out. It's just got this one lever on it. You push it up and you just wiggle it until it comes out. The one key thing is knowing how the connector unlocks. So it's really pretty easy, because some of these connectors can be a problem. But this one's pretty easy. You can push it down and wiggle it right on out of here. That's how you remove 2002 Impala speedometer for repair.